Right, Jeff, here we are back in your workshop, and today we're talking about pistons, and in particular the pistons that you're making from scratch. Yeah, so we talked about them very briefly last time I was here. Yeah, you've got an awful lot of pistons there, look. Big ones and small ones and God knows what else.
Anyway.
Yeah, and you sort of basically machined out a cylinder and that's about it. So,
well,
so before you begin...
We've got to get the gudgeon pinhole in, but...
Yes.
Fraction of a disaster with one of them.
Only one though?
Yeah, they've got to be one of the most awkwardest things to
machine.
Mm-hmm. It's lucky I made 2 spare.
Yes.
So it's reaming them. Everything has to be spot on.
Yes.
They must have a small honer that finishes them off.
Yes. This is the one you haven't got because it's cost an absolute fortune.
Well, I tried it with a adjustable reamer, but when everything's fixed solid, it's only got to be half a thou out. And if it doesn't, if it's not square or it's
there's something wrong.
If it's
we can see all there.
General milling's not
Fine.
bad, but when you've got to get a gudgeon pin fit through, I don't know how they do them at the factory, but I would imagine it's on some form of little line bore or jig with a honer.
Some very expensive CNC machine.
It'll be some. Well, no, it won't be.
CNC lathe.
It'll be an intricate little machine that's probably just set up for doing this sort of work.
Yeah.
So basically, this device.
Yeah. So hang on. So last time I was here, I noticed you'd made this thing here, and let's just get a bit closer there.
Them are 2 clamps there to suit the other pistons.
Now this is a fixture that you've made to hold the pistons while you machine them. Yeah.
On the rotary. Yeah.
Right. So you've got something that bolts to the rotary table to spin it round.
Yeah. It's not bolted on yet.
No.
That's a centre to get it in the centre.
And it's got 1, 2, 3 different.
And you can adjust them in and out.
Right.
So when we come to put the curve on the bottom of the pistons, to mill it out.
Yes.
You can just do that then. And if you've got your cutter there, it'll put a nice.
Right.
A nice curve on it.
Okay. So.
Now that's not. It's got to be reasonably accurate, but the odd thou here or there isn't.
So you made these extra 2 clamps.
81, 80, 81. That's an 84 for the bigger ones.
But you've made
a machine sleeve to go down to them.
Right.
So.
So all that's bolted to your rotary table.
Yeah. It's all once setting up.
Yeah. That then needs to be bolted to your miller.
On that.
Over there, which we'll look at in a minute.
Which we're doing the drill holes
for,
the reaming.
That's right.
But I dial the quill up, but even if you're half a thou out on the quill, by the time, if you've only got to drop 3 inches with a reamer, and it's got to be absolutely spot on.
Right, okay.
There is no scope for any run out when you're doing the gudgeon pinholes.
And we'll just repeat ourselves because we mentioned it I think last time. These pistons are being made for your drag bikes.
The Honda.
Because buying them is A, very expensive, and secondly,
you can't buy them.
You just can't find the correct size and compression
pistons,
that you need, so you're making your own. So I see that particular piston you've got in your hand has now got holes drilled in it, little holes, and these are the oil feed holes. Yeah, the small stuff.
Can you say,
I'll have to...
the piston ring groove's going to be machined where one is.
Yes.
I didn't think it was a good thing to try and put the groove in and then try and drill the holes.
No.
I thought,
okay,
we'll put the holes in and then there's a row of holes underneath, which will you want to try and get as much oil on it as possible.
Okay. And didn't you tell me that when you looked at the Honda ones, they didn't make life easy because the holes were drilled at an angle? They didn't go straight in.
I think originally,
go back a little bit.
On some of them, I think they'd actually drill them in at an angle because the big end shoots oil
up,
so it's got a better chance at getting in.
Yes.
But what we're doing, we're going to feed the barrel with an oil feed.
Yes.
So that it actually comes out level when the piston drops. The oil ring will line up with the small hole. So actually oil will literally coat the piston. So these will be working the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Because with it only being a roller bearing crank, it doesn't get.
I think it's a couple of very loud
magpies. They're having a bit of
noisy buggers, aren't they? Anyway, so with that then, we're now.
Yeah. But each drill hole, it's taking. That's a 2.5, and they were taking like 5-10 minutes, and then you got to wind the rotary round.
Yes.
And it's surprising. To put that gudgeon pinhole in there and drill them holes, it's taken over an hour just to do that.
Well, wouldn't surprise me. And you've got to do what?
I've done 4 of them, so there's 4 hours work just on that
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now let's go and look at
Anyway.
your Miller and see how you've got one of those
Pop that
pistons.
back in there carefully.
Yeah, carefully, yes.
And
We'll look at what's going on.
these be 80 mils.
Okay,
I'll
let me just
drill.
stop Okay, I'll stop filming now and we'll zoom in over there. Right, okay, so we've got a bit closer. So you've now got one of your larger pistons. What are they? 85 are they? 85?
This is 80.
80 mil.
I'll take it out so that we can...
Okay, but you've got it on an upright...
This is done. I just finished this
table.
before you come. You
Okay.
can see all the swarf that gets
Oh, yes.
in there now.
Yeah.
That,
Certainly is.
that jams when you... I'll have to blow that out later. Later.
And that's all from just drilling those holes? Or doing the... Oh, you're doing the...
I've done the gudgeon pin
As
one.
well, yeah.
I've actually... I want these to 17. But I've actually put...
Same as a GPZ Unitrack.
Because you need the cutters long enough. So that is a 5/8. But what's happened is, you run that in, and if you measure the hole at one side, it's about 2 thou bigger than the other.
Is that because it's wobbling a little bit?
Well, I think what happens is, if you're not running dead true, if you dial your quill up, which I've done, and it seems to run pretty good.
Okay.
You know,
but
within
that's quite an
the
old
distance.
machine. Yes.
But see, I'm putting that in that chuck.
Yes.
You can get half a thou here, quarter of a thou there, and when you multiply all that.
Yes. Now, normally that sort of difference doesn't make any difference to anybody, does it? But when you're doing pistons, right? Okay. So you just changed over from a bigger piston to a smaller piston to work on
that's an 80.
That's an
I'm doing
80.
the 80 mils.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got those oil control holes, for want of a better word, drilled in there now, and you've got your gudgeon pin hole.
They're a nice finish, but I've just measured them.
Yeah.
And it's measuring like 16.4647.
And
And then the other side's about 16.52.
But it's okay because you're still going to take it out.
2 thou.
You've got to take it out to 17 though.
But
So
they're going to 17, but it's now.
So how are you going to get it to 17 then?
Well, I'm going to have to...
Accurately.
The only other thing is a very small... you can get floating reamers, which are centralised, so that they adjust and they don't...
Right.
But I'm going to have to speak... Before I go any further with them, I'm going to have to speak to somebody who's...
How about...
the only other thing I thought of was actually setting a smaller, tiny reamer setup up on the lathe and actually put it between, have it fixed to the thing, and you just
do that.
Slide it.
Would that be more accurate, do you think?
Well, the thing is on here, with your cutters, any slight run out, it
expands, doesn't
if
it?
If it moves at the bottom and it's going through, and it's all...
Well, obviously the further away it is from the centre, the more it's going to be...
Ideally, instead of that full reamer like that, it only wants a little ball reamer to the size. Yeah. So as the ball passes through and hones it out, it then does that one, and then the rest of the cutter cannot affect.
So what's the plan then? You're going to carry on and do all these as much as you can?
Yeah, I'm going to go through with that.
Yeah. And then you'll cross that bridge when you come to it, when you've got to do the
what I need is I'll cross that one.
Yes.
See, even now it's got an accurate hole to set up, even if I machine something.
So on the first one you did that went wrong, what actually went wrong with it? What was the problem?
I used...
what was the problem?
I used an adjustable reamer clamped in the chuck, but you've only got to get a thou run out. And if that quill runs out half a thou over the depth of the piston, it can be a thou at the bottom.
Right.
And all this multiplies.
And that's what's happened with that previous...
Problems, yeah.
Is that what's happened with that one?
It's finding...
Right, okay.
That, you know, it's like, say, if that quill ran out half a thou, it's not only doing that, but if you've got a long cutter in, that half a thou's going that way and the other way.
Yeah.
So everything just gets multiplied.
So when you do your final machining to get it down to 70 mil precisely, it could be that you can't do it here. You might have to get somebody else to do it for you. Yeah.
Even if you do it one side at a time with a small honer.
Well, then you've got a problem of the two holes meeting up.
Everything has to be running spot on, because if you to wind that round and get that absolutely perfect with the other one.
There's a place that I've used, Precision Engineering, who did the machining for me for my for boring out my block. I mean, they seem to have all the kit.
Oh, Mike. Well,
Micro Engineering. Yeah.
What we'll do is, if I can't
pop over there
anything, I might go and ask him.
Yeah. See what he can do for you.
See, but he might say, well,
it won't be cheap, but at least it'll be done. They're cheaper than buying pistons from.
I've got a couple of
ideas.
Right.
Okay.
What I might do is one of the adjustable reamers. is like you say, if that's set up between centres, instead of having the blades 3 inches long, just get them ground so they're only about 1 inch.
Right.
So it only passes
halfway
through one side at a time, and then you can check one.
Isn't there a risk that as you do that, you'll get 2 holes that don't quite meet in the middle?
No, it's done on a jig that passes right through it.
Okay,
but what's happening is if you've got the long cutter, if it is a fraction out, half a thou here and there, the whole cutter's running through at a very slight angle. The smaller the contact cutter on the more accurate it will be.
Okay. So if I turn around now, we can see you've got a whole selection of pistons there. Just a sec.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we've come round. That's the test piece that didn't go too well.
No, it's the Honda one.
Oh, sorry, the Honda one that's not
well,
had it.
That's out now to about 16.5 or.
And it's got to be 17.
Ideally, yeah. So when I come to doing everything, I'll use that for setting up.
Right.
I've got to put the grooves in yet, so you're always
There's still more to do.
Using,
right, so in these red trays here, we can see you've been busy.
Yeah, I've always got a couple extra on each one.
So you've got 84s, 80s, 81s.
81s,
yeah. And also there's some Honda ones over there, the smaller ones there, 66,
ones,
are they? 66 or 67?
66
66. So once again then, the small stuff, the 80s are going to be for what?
The comp, it might even go in the comp bike.
Okay. The 84s, the big stuff.
They're for what was my bike, and the 81s are for that.
And what's your bike? Because I get mixed up sometimes.
Top fuel bike.
Oh, top fuel. Okay, that one in words.
Yeah. No, not that.
Oh, another one. All right, that's in bits right now.
That's in bits,
and the 81s there are for what?
I'll be going in.
That one.
So there's
that one over there.
Loads
of spares, yeah, which we'll need. Yeah. Which we'll need. Plus, of course, the Honda stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what you've been doing recently. Okay, so anything else to talk about pistons while we're here? I mean, obviously, all these are going to be mainly low compression, aren't they? Because obviously, it's going to be for a supercharged engine. So these are all domed to lower down the compression. Yeah, that's why you're making them like that. So the plan then is, I guess, is this week or next week to finish off doing all the machining that you can do.
I just want to put the holes through them like that and drill them.
Yeah, and then
because that's set now in the middle. In fact, it might be half a thou out.
Okay. Then you're going to add the grooves for the skirts for the piston rings.
Well, I can set the table up because I've got my various three cutters,
right?
Slit saws. I'm going to put them in the rotor
and actually rotate spin them around,
and let the saw blade take out.
Do its thing.
90%, because trying to go in with a mill groove. And
then you're going to finish it off.
Tip on the lathe.
Okay, so you use your saw.
Yeah,
with your rotor table to do 90% of the groove, and then you're going to finish off with the lathe to finish things off. Hang on, where have you gone?
One of them chappies.
Okay.
We got that.
Okay, yeah.
That'll be in the holder,
and then you'll spin the.
Yeah, set it that way so it'll be milling. So you'll go in near enough to the depth.
Yes.
And then you'll just rotate your piston round.
Okay.
And it'll put the groove in.
And then to finish you off, you'll stick that in your lathe and just do a final cut.
I want to get them near enough, and then what I'll do is I'll grind a tool up and then just polish them out till the
spot
rings.
On. Okay.
Just
okay.
You know, a nice fit.
Okay. But still, the main issue you've had, or you will have, is trying to machine those pistons out to 17 mil for the small end.
That is the worst thing
to do.
To do.
So you might to sort of move outside your workshop and get that done by somebody else.
That might have to be done by some very special equipment.
Yes.
And well, let's see how we go.
Yeah, okay.
We might be able to do.
So if anybody's watching this right now and knows how to do that, or where it can be done locally, then let us know, and hopefully for free.
Yeah.
But if not, well, I'm sure we'll work it out eventually. Right.
It wants a little expanding ball reamer.
Oh, expanding
Whether
ball
they
reamer.
do anything like that, we'll do some searching and see what we
need to do some
yeah.
Googling perhaps. Anyway, just gonna have a chat with the chaps at.
Well, he might not have done anything like this.
Well, you can ask. You can ask.
We can ask.
I'll tell you what. He might know somebody else in turn who can do it. This is a chap we've used before at a local engineering company who specialise in engines and pistons and that sort of thing. Right. Okay. With that then,
I'm sure
time to go home. Hang on, he's disappeared off. Right, so that's that then, and we'll continue our discussions another day. So thanks for watching, and cheers.
Thank you.